So the time of this video right now is 9 o'clock a.m. on Monday. And as of 15 minutes ago, so 8:45 a.m., the Miami Dolphins apparently have no plans to make changes going forward. I mean, are they just tanking and then they're going to fire everybody at the end? It's a smart way to do it, I guess. Anyway, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back to my Week 7 NFL reactions. For the most part, I feel like this week was fairly predictable, but there are two very important games tonight yet. So in other words, lots of room for fluctuation in my record total, but we got a couple of plugs before we hop into it as always. So don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel, Waggle, or Prize Picks. By using my codes on G Fuel or Waggle, you'll save a discount on any other products, and by using it at sign up on Prize Picks, you're going to guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 entry. Also, a friendly reminder that there is a Steph Curry free square for the NBA tip-off tomorrow. All he needs is 1 point for the entry to win. But please remember to play responsibly, and let's get into my reactions. So, starting off this week, we had the Senior Citizen Bowl where the Cincinnati Bengals stunned the Steelers, winning in a shootout 33-31. This game was so much fun to watch. I mean, we had 7 total passing touchdowns between the two quarterbacks. Rodgers actually had both the interceptions. On the Pittsburgh side of things, as far as rushing goes, Jaylen Warren carved up Cincinnati 16 for 127. Pat Freiermuth exploded for 111, and 2 touchdowns. And honestly, I gotta give credit to A-Rod. He was vintage Raj here. 2 picks or not, he made some incredible plays. That Hail Mary attempt at the end, shit, that thing traveled 65 yards through the air. He's 40, and he still got it. As far as the Bengals go, they were a little bit more fun to watch, in my opinion. Flacco completing 31 out of 47 attempts. Chase Brown had a good day for once this year, actually 11 carries for 108 yards. Jamar Chase and Flacco played buddy ball the whole game, 16 receptions for 161 yards and 1 touchdown. What's even more messed up is he had 23 targets. T. Higgins made a great play and a score. Noah Fant had a score. I mean, without Trey Hendrickson allowing 31 points or not, Bengals got a very much needed win to try and entertain the fact that their season is not dead yet. Now we have the Rams beating the brakes off the Jags in London. Man, did the Jacksonville Jaguars have a crazy ride this year with me, didn't they? Because I am right back to thinking these guys are ass. How are you going to let Stafford go out there and drop 5 touchdowns on you? I mean, that's not even with Puka Nacua. Devontae Adams scored 3 times. Defense was all over Lawrence from the get-go, too. Quentin Lake made another really nice play. This game was dead, like, immediately. Positive things on the side of Jacksonville. I guess T-Law did air it out for nearly 300 yards. Travis Hunter went off 8 for 101 and a touchdown. I'm pretty sure Brian Thomas got injured as well. Something with the shoulder, but they are on a bye week now, so he has time. And defensively, even though they didn't allow a lot of passing yards, what is it, 180? That's not that terrible, especially against the Rams. When it came to keeping him out of the end zone, you might as well have just called up a fucking elementary school team. If Brian Thomas is gonna miss time, Travis Hunter, not that he already won't, he's gonna start taking a lot more offensive snaps. They don't have a choice. Now we got the Eagles beating the Vikings, and I think the Carson Wentz experiment is over. This game was miserable to watch. Jalen Hurts just killed us. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown combined for over 300 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. You can tell the Vikings' entire game plan was behind stopping Saquon, which they did an incredible job. But holy shit, man, like, I knew that last drive, either A.J. or Devontae Smith was gonna catch a pass to ice it away, and sure shit they did. Carson Wentz had a pair of gross picks, one of them being a pick 6. Jordan Mason's the only one who scored points outside of Will Rijkaard, 16. Addison led the team 9 for 128. Hawkinson needs to calm down because he's so upset about his touchdown that he didn't get at the end. Brother, it wasn't a touchdown. I knew it immediately. And yeah, Flores got to do something about this fucking secondary, man. They got to do something about the quarterback situation on the team too. But what a demoralizing loss for Minnesota. I mean, I really thought they had a chance. I really thought they were going to win. The Eagles have looked pathetic. That sucked. Now we got the Patriots knocking the hell out of the Titans. Dude, this was such a shit show by Cam Ward again. I mean, I saw he had a touchdown pass to Shamir Dyke, and then I also saw Cam Ward drop back under pressure and lose control of the ball as he's throwing it for a fucking fumble 6. Running game couldn't have been more lousy if they tried. And now their defense is also going to be crippled because Jeffrey Simmons got injured, and I think someone else did too. I can't remember who though. Might have been L'Jarius Sneed, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it was L'Jarius. I just looked it up. Like, they're completely screwed. Looking at the Patriots now, a typical typical Drake May day. So what? He threw the most accurate game in Patriots history. 90% completion percentage. Tom Brady couldn't do it. Fuck you. Receiving was led by Diggs, 7 for 69. Booty had a score. Austin Hooper had a hell of a touchdown grab. Stevenson led rushing, and Milton Williams is continuing to be one of the best offseason acquisitions this team had. New England, I have asked you guys so nicely to calm down, to the point where I'm not going to ask you. I'm now telling you, calm the fuck down. Now we have the Panthers getting by the Jets in this snooze fest of a game. Hey, shout out to Aaron Glenn on only allowing 13 points though. Key takeaways that I got from a game I barely watched anything of. Justin Fields got benched for Tyrod Taylor, who also did miserable. JC Horn picked him off twice. Tyler Johnson led the team in receiving. Roll the boat, baby. Ski you, ma. And every one of New York's points ended up coming from the leg of Nick Folk. Looking at the Panthers now, Bryce Young, 138, 1 touchdown, no picks, but he did hurt his ankle having to leave the game. Where Andy Dalton came in, he was serviceable. Rico looks like he has taken over the #1 role as of now, having 17 carries for 79 over Chuba's 14 for 31. Big X had another great game, 9 for 92, and the touchdown actually went to Big X after a nice improvising play. I would say improvision. I don't know if that's a word, from Bryce Young. Also, like I've kind of highlighted already on the defense, not only did JC Horn have 2 picks, but they got 6 sacks on the Jets, 2 of them coming from Derek Brown. Panthers are rolling, and now they play the Bills. Now we move on to the Browns dismantling the Dolphins, and boy am I glad I switched my pick at the end here. Dude, Tua not only played so bad that he got benched, but he gave an interview after the game that sounded like he was taking shots with Mike McDaniel. I don't know what the hell he was talking about. I mean, I was hardly watching the game, and then the 4th quarter came up where Tua dropped back in the end zone and threw another interception, and I was just beside myself. What's stunning is that the Cleveland offense, I mean, they didn't even really do that much. Judkins ate him alive, 84 yards and 3 touchdowns, but it's not like he had good production with his runs. Dylan Gabriel only threw for 116 yards. The leading receiver had 36 yards. And your asses lost 6-31? Even with the pick 6 in there, it's still hard to wrap your head around it. Now we got the Bears beating the Saints in another game I didn't get to see a ton of, but my takeaways here is I saw Spencer Rattler had, probably the worst game of his career so far, and definitely, the worst game of the year for him. He was able to light up Chris Olave for 2 touchdowns, and Juwan Johnson did really good this game too. They also turned the ball over 3 times, and he had 0 run support apparently coming from Elvin Kamara, who had 11 carries for 28 yards. Chicago side of things, I saw a lot of banter and boos coming towards Caleb Williams. I can't act like I sat there and dissected every single one of his passes. I saw his interception, but everything else I've heard, it just doesn't seem like there was an impressive performance there. However, DeAndre Swift continuing to impress, having a midlife crisis, throwing up 124 yards and having a touchdown, while the rookie Kyle, is it Monangi? I probably fucked it up, had 81 yards, 6.2 yards a carry, and a score himself. Couple of other quick key pointers. Kevin Byard has had 4 interceptions this season. And also, Jake Moody, 4 for 4, 14 points. We may have seen the rebirth of one of the most promising kickers ever. That'll bring us to the Chiefs burying the Raiders alive 31-0. Geno threw for 67 yards. They ran for 25 as a team, combined with Kenny Pickett's 8 yards. As a unit, they had 100 yards total on the day. And to make matters worse, Max Crosby now exited the game. However, I've heard it's more of a precautionary thing, but this might have been one of the worst games ever recorded for a team. As far as the Chiefs go, Patrick threw for 286, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them going to Rashi, and I believe the other one was to Hollywood Brown. Pacheco led rushing with 57 yards, and their defense had a heyday suffocating Geno Smith from start to finish. Just like that, the Chiefs are like the biggest threat in football again. Isn't it crazy? Now we got the Colts beating the Bolts. Great win over the Chargers here, who had Justin Herbert throwing 420 yards and 3 touchdowns. Receiving was led by the rookie, I'm gonna butcher this, Oronde Gadsden. I heard his name a bunch and still can't fucking say it right. He had a 164 and a touchdown. Father time, Keenan Allen had 11 for 119 in the score. Quentin Johnston scored. I believe that one came very late in the game when I was painting my deck. We were watching it on Red Zone. And shout out to the returning Khalil Mack, coming back, making an impact and getting a sack. Man, that's whack, because the Chargers still got cracked. The crowd began to clap, but at least he recorded a stat. I'm done. Colts side of things, Indiana Jones, 288, 2 passing touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor, 94 yards and another 3 rushing touchdowns for him. He's just fucking with the other teams at this point. I laughed when he got that 3rd touchdown. I literally was busting a gut laughing. Alec Pierce had a nice day, 5 for 98. It's a shame he couldn't get a score in there. However, Tyler Warren continuing to be one of the best rookies of the year, 4 for 69 and a touchdown. Pittman had a touchdown. The defense was led by a Nick Cross. However, DeForest Buckner taking down 2 of the sacks by himself. And a crazy stat to me, at least on DeForest Buckner, is he's 31 years old already. I thought he was like 28. Now we have the Giants shitting their pants in probably what I would classify as the most humiliating loss I've ever seen. They allowed 33 points in the fourth quarter to the Denver Broncos. I mean, the New York offense, they had something going and, you know, for the most part kept it going, but I think clock management and coaching decisions and especially their defense, man, they just shit the bed. I mean, there was 5 different touchdowns from 5 different players and they didn't even win. That is horrendous. You had Theo Johnson, I'm pretty sure it was, who made the miracle touchdown play. Wan'Dale Robinson continuing to step up in Malik Neighbors' absence. And Brian Burns, who had 2 sacks on the day, was absolutely fuming, walking into the locker room after the game saying several things under his breath, and I don't blame him. I also don't know what he said. As far as the Broncos go, they suck for 3/4 of the game. And then Bo Nix came back, threw 2 touchdowns. One of them was a miracle touchdown as well, but whatever. Had 2 rushing touchdowns, made several incredible passes to Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims, and one of them was a needle pass right there at the end of the game. Troy Franklin hauled in a score, Harvey hauled in a score, and I wish I could say the Broncos defense showed resilience, but believe it or not, they actually still allowed the most points in the game in the fourth quarter. But I will give credit where it's due. That was a very well-coached game by Peyton and a very nice played game by Nix. Well, fourth quarter, I should say. It was a nice fourth quarter. It was a beautiful comeback. Now we've got the Packers narrowly escaping the Cardinals. It's another game that I can't act like, you know, I prioritized watching. I didn't really care to watch Arizona play. I don't ever care to watch Arizona play, and I thought Green Bay was going to handle business a lot easier than this. Tucker Kraft once again had a touchdown. Josh Jacobs once again added 2 more, although he only topped out at 55 yards. Jordan threw for 179. However, the real talk of the town would be on the defense, where Micah Parsons lit up Jacoby Brissett 3 times by himself. And if I heard correctly, that was the first time Micah Parsons ever gotten 3 sacks in a game. As far as Arizona goes, again, you can say what you want about Jacoby, but he can throw the ball, man. He can throw a rope. 279, 2 more touchdowns, both of them to Trey McBride. And the Arizona defense came up with a solo sack on the day coming from Zaven Collins. Damn, dude, Zaven Collins, a first-round pick many years ago now. Still playing there, though. Good for him. Now we got the Cowboys beating the Commanders in my upset of the week, and I got it right again. And I don't care if Jaden Daniels got hurt. Well, I care. I don't want him to be hurt, but even if he had stayed healthy the whole game, they weren't winning this. This team right now just doesn't have the firepower to keep up with Dallas. Also doesn't help that Marcus Mariota came in and threw a brain fart right to Darren Bland for 6 points, but as far as Dallas goes, Dak, 264, 3 more touchdowns. Javonte Williams, huge game out of him, 116 and a score. CD, 5 for 110 and a touchdown. Jake Ferguson had 7 for 29 and 2 touchdowns, and George Pickens is continuing to be a human highlight reel week after week, CD or no CD. What's even more gross is there are people like my dad who still don't give Dak Prescott the respect he deserves. He is playing so good, but he's on the Cowboys, so fuck him, right? And now we got the Sunday night snoozer, because this is basically watching Christian McCaffrey just shove a football up Atlanta's ass for 3 hours. I mean, seriously, first we can shout out the defense from San Francisco, banged up or not, only allowing 10 points from the Falcons. Red hot as they've been, that's respectable, but Christian McCaffrey had 129 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 7 receptions for 72 receiving yards. He took an opportunity to handle business on live television and still establish himself as one of the league's best. As far as the Falcons go, Penix had 1 touchdown, 240 through the air. Bajan actually couldn't run very well, surprisingly, but he did haul in the 1 receiving touchdown after topping out for 6 receptions and 52 yards. Pitts had 62 yards. Darnell Mooney led with 68. Caden Ellis picked off Mac Jones. Defensively, they contained Mac Jones to, what, 150 passing yards? It's just they couldn't contain Christian McCaffrey to save their own asses. I imagine if you were a CMC fantasy owner last night, that was like watching your team win the Super Bowl. What a time to be alive, and what a good win by San Francisco. What a bounce back. You guys are the team that can and the team that will. Anyway, guys, that is going to be all for my Week 7 NFL reactions so far. I know we got 2 games left tonight, and I'll try and get to them tomorrow. But if you guys did enjoy this video and you want to show support, please do it, because you know I appreciate any and all help. In the meantime, I'm going to get this whipped up so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you have a great and safe rest of your Monday, and as always, I will see you in the next upload.